Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's AMFG time. I got five, six more AMFGs that David sent me, but I'm only gonna do two tonight so I can focus and do a good job. David's white in both of these, I believe. Double King's Pawn, the Philidor, D4 is the most common, but I suppose Knight C3 is not bad. Now this I'm really not a fan of. Yeah, really not a fan of. You can play d4 right now. And if say knight c6, well, you can just pin that guy. Oops, this is more aggressive. Or do you have a threat here? If takes, queen takes is good. And yeah. Anyway, let me throw this engine off. But yeah, it's a good position. I got this against who's the Filipino guy from the Marshall Chess Club? Jose. I don't remember his name. He's about 19. Goes between like 1800 and 2000. Anyway, but I mean, I can't criticize this. This is okay way to play. It's just not very aggressive. And now David plays d3. It's funny because David is always, I feel like in a lot of games, David's just playing d4 wildly, like without any preparation. And here, where he could play it for like a bunch of moves in a row, he's playing d3. Knight c6, bishop b3. I mean, both sides developing normally castles. And then, yeah, this move is kind of random. Like, seems like David's out of development and doesn't know what to do, but could play queen d2, connect the rooks, you could play h3, push this guy off this diagonal over here. It's not such a good square. I don't know. Yeah, knight d5 is kind of random. Although it sets up a really cool tactic, which after black's move a6, this would be like a good chess tempo or lead chess puzzle. It's kind of unexpected in a position like this, but if you calculate carefully, every single variation works. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. And here's the tactic. David played the routine knight takes bishop, which does get the bishop pair, but the position's locked and stays about equal. But the move is knight takes the e-pawn. Well, the first thing you notice is it's a discovered attack on the bishop. So if the easiest variation is just if pawn takes, bishop takes, say knight takes, queen takes, and we're just a pawn up with a better bishop and good knight. So that's the easiest possible variation. Excuse me. What about knight takes? That defends the bishop 2 times, but alas for black, we can take one of the defenders, and it still amounts to the same thing. In this one, the bishop's better placed. You can take the pawn here, but we're getting it back, and we're still a pawn up. So, all right, those are the two easiest variations. So what about bishop takes bishop? Then we have knight takes knight, hitting the queen, and double attacking e7. So if he takes our queen, we can actually take the bishop first and then take the queen. So let's look at that. If bishop takes bishop, knight takes knight. If pawn takes, then we could take either the knight or the bishop, probably the bishop. And again, just as in the other variations, we're pawn up, and black has bad pawns to boot. So that's pretty cool. I'm going through these kind of fast, but as always, I'm going to throw the link to the study in the video, so you can go and look at these variations yourself. Take all the time you need, or of course you can just pause the video and work them out for yourself. And what variation didn't I do yet? Oh yeah, bishop takes bishop, knight takes knight. Say he doesn't take the queen, but he throws this in first. It's still the exact same thing at the end of the day. Oh wait, that's the one I just showed. Excuse me. Say if he goes ahead and takes our queen, this is even worse for him, because now we're taken with the d knight, hitting his king with check. Say he moves, or he takes with the queen. Either way, he's going to be he's actually going to be a piece and a pawn down. And as you can see, white has 2 pieces, black has 1, and black's a pawn down. Oops. So it's kind of a looks kind of like a long line and difficult to calculate, but actually all the variations are fairly forced. Um, I mean, I didn't look at stuff like bishop back somewhere. Obviously, that just runs a pawn. Can take here, move the knight back, or something like this. And yeah, position looks about equal until you notice that black's missing a pawn. So yeah, that would have been a really cool move. And hopefully, if David is playing this in a really long time control game, he will spot a tactic like this. I can this exact position hasn't arisen in Opening Explorer, but I can totally see a position like this coming up in a lot of beginner, intermediate, e4, e5 type of games where both sides develop their pieces and they're just not sure what to do. And in this position, probably in a game like that, someone would play like either a3 or a knight takes bishop. I'm not even sure I would see this tactic, especially in a rapid game or a blitz game, but it's a cool thing to keep on the lookout for whenever you have discovered attacks, knights, attacking queens, attacking bishops. Um, there's a line like this in the Sicilian Accelerated Dragon that I've got away with in a few tournaments. It's pretty cool. But David just took the bishop and c3. Now d4 is no longer in the cards because the e pawn hangs because the knights are gone. The bishop moves, pinning the knight, but it's not very effective because after h6, the bishop can't back up here. So black just kind of gets h6 for free. Um, yeah, this move is kind of puzzling. Black voluntarily gives up the second bishop, although still it's not much of an advantage for white, if any, because the position is so locked up. Here David blunders with bishop h4. I mean, that's the whole point of the knight on g6, is just going to take that. Fortunately for him, black misses it. I assume here David sees the move and decides to take the knight. Um, I don't know. I would probably try to preserve the two bishops if I could. Black can't come after it yet because of the bishop and the queen for that matter. And maybe you can follow up with rook e1, d4. Try to open the position for the bishops, but excuse me. He takes, queen takes, and now d4. Nothing wrong with that. Knight f4. Got to be careful in positions like this. If the knight is here, sometimes there's tactics with knight h3. Say the queen moves somewhere. David takes. This is kind of understandable because you want to open the position for the bishops, but as long as e pawn is here, the position is not going to be open anyway. So I'd keep more tension. Maybe come here or something. I don't have the engine on, but this looks good. Just pressure. And yeah. Bring the rooks to the center. Maybe rook e1 to e3. Another rook to e1. I'm not really sure. It's pretty equal. But now black gets to the file first. Although, let's see. Where was that? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, black controls the file. So there's no reason to pussyfoot around with a move like rook d6. You can just take and come here. And yeah, it's very awkward for white. For instance, if queen here, we have this knight h3 tactic that I showed earlier. Obviously, can't take because now you have a really bad king. Oh, it's not check. What am I talking about? And yeah, the queen can't get over to protect. The rook can't get over. This pawn is hit and unprotectable. Maybe the rook's going to come here and then here. I could turn on the engine, but you don't need the engine to realize this is a really bad position. So, yeah, instead, after this, takes, oops, excuse me, takes. Now rook c2 is not necessary, queen c2 is not necessary. The engine recommends queen e1. and queen f4 with a rook coming in here is kind of bad. So after that criticism, what can I say instead of rook d2? It's really hard to say, but white doesn't really need to do anything. G3 is probably not good. Yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe you can drop the bishop back here, because this bishop is definitely not better than the knight. And if he takes, now the position's totally equal. You could also bring the other rook over here. Try to maybe play king f1. And if black's the one who decides to double, all of a sudden, now it's good for white, because white controls the file first, after the queen moves somewhere. So you have this. Now it's white's the one who controls the file. So yeah, rook d2 was not so great, but black didn't take advantage, and now it looks pretty equal until c4. C4 is a mistake. Rook takes, and then here, and this is a really good square. Can't be kicked by the pawn. If rook takes, now black has a passed pawn, white doesn't, and yeah, this pawn has the potential to be quite annoying. So it's a small advantage for black, but small can turn into big if the pawn gets here and then here. And I mean, white does control the square a bunch of times, but black can gain space and attack other things while he's dealing with that problem. So anyway, black didn't see that. He played queen g6. Pressure here, but the bishop nicely defends. David pushes the pawn again. Now black does come to d4. Probably a little more aggressive is here. Queen's not a really good blockading piece. So at least white can create some pressure by going to b3. But he comes in front. This does come with a threat. On knight. Black moves back. David protects the c-pawn. Knight comes in, threatening to take this, winning the queen because the pawn's pinned. Yeah, better would have been queen d3, protecting the bishop and this pawn. I know we like this bishop for some reason, even though it's not a particularly good piece, but it's not worth losing this e-pawn over. So, but for some strange reason, the knight just goes back instead of taking here. Probably just missed this move, but that would have been really crushing for black. Instead, he goes back. Bishop attacks the queen. Yeah, this is not generally a really bad idea to pin your queen like this. G6 would work for black, except for a crazy tactic. As you can see, the bishop's pinned. If the bishop moves, the queen's lost. But white has the saving resource, queen c7. And if bishop's taken, then e5 is actually winning for black because the rook's hit and the queen has to move. Say the queen goes here, we hit him again. Say he goes here, we hit him again. And our pawns and queen nicely control these squares. So there's a lot of cute tactics in this game. It's a good game to go over more than once. But if yeah, but after here, black can just play something like this and not take the bishop, and now it's pretty equal. After here, hitting this pawn, knight can come over, putting pressure here. White can take some stuff, but black is very active. And don't forget about this guy. I don't know. It does look a little better for white here. Just because the c-pawn's kind of scary. But this d-pawn's also kind of scary. And yeah. And this is threatening mate. Queen can come back here to defend. Do you really want to play f3? Do you really want to play rook f1? Not really. So yeah, maybe this is really not so great at all. I mean, do you really want to open this diagonal? Anyways, so yeah, queen f4. You could call it a blunder, even according to the engine. It zeros because after g6 you have to find this move and the whole variation with f4 g3, and black doesn't even have to go in for that. But black moves his knight again for some reason. e5, queen e7, and yeah, now white's back in the driver's seat. Um, oh yeah, better ornaments take here. If rook takes, we win a pawn, and if pawn takes, this is very good. Yeah, you see that this game has a lot of tactics and it has a lot of square outposts for rooks. Outpost for rooks is very important. A lot of people are familiar with knight outposts, but rook outposts, especially protected by these two pawns, are very good because it basically uh, white's dominating the file. If black ever takes, I'm not sure which way we should go. Probably both pretty good. Um, maybe here just so it's a longer pawn chain. How about then the e pawn can run? I'm not sure, but either way, this is good, and only white can have an advantage here. But David took still should be an advantage for white. H3. I would be more tempted to play, queen d4, queen d2, and then put the queen here. But the nice thing for white is there's no way that black can get into the file with his queen. So I guess h3 is not so bad. Queen d2 defends the a pawn. Yeah, g4 is just horrible, really, really bad. You're opening your king for no reason. Yeah, g4 is probably the worst move of this game. Defend the pawn. Engine recommends h3, just keeping the pawn chain solid. But as you can see, white's queen would be better here and here, where he can penetrate down this file. I mean, probably this should be a draw, but g4 is really, really bad. In queen endgames, you don't want to make moves like that. E6 with the idea to take this pawn, reasonable. Okay, and here's an important moment. David took the wrong pawn. I mean, like I would say 90, well, maybe 95 times out of 100, you want to take, unless there's a tactical reason not to, let's say, you want to take the pawn that's in front of your passed pawn. I mean, it's true that if you take this, now black also has a passed pawn, but this one's two spaces farther and therefore much more dangerous. So, yeah, that's what should have been played, but David took this one. And okay, he has two passed pawns now, but as you can see, h3 and g4 were not so great. And now, for some reason, black doesn't take this. This probably would have been either a draw or better for black because he has an extra pawn and the passed pawns are stopped. Checks here. Now white has an advantage again. Queen c3, good move, protecting both the pawns. And if black just keeps checking randomly, the king can like come all the way over here and find safety. And if black ever comes on this diagonal, then there may be checks, and you can trade queens, and then of course white's totally winning. So queen c3 is good. King starts coming over, as he should do. This might be a little premature. Maybe just stay solid with this. But this is very good. And yeah, white gets a winning position. I think, oh yeah, white won on time here. So yeah, David played the end of the end game very well. Bringing the king all the way over here. This was one of the more interesting AMFGs I've done in quite some time. A lot of tactics. The one in the opening I thought was quite cool because it looks, where are we? Yeah, on move 9, this looks like a pretty innocuous position where, 99 players out of 100 would just trade knight for knight or knight for bishop. But actually this is surprising and cool move. So yeah, I went pretty deep on that one, almost 20 minutes for one game. So I hope I'm appreciated by David and the rest of my audience. Ayahuasca was his opponent. And I will see you in the next video. I got 5 more on the burner and more to come. Going for 100 and do some AMFLs. this whole analyzing my friends stuff is pretty fun. I told my friend Jen I could do an analyzing my friend's diet because she's like, oh, I want to eat healthier. Not that I'm super healthy by any means. I don't have my webcam on, but I got a bowl of coconut ice cream here that I just ate like half a pint of. So, but we're not perfect, and we're all improving. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.